It's just a little pet peeve of mine when people mention RTS in World of Warcraft, because there's like next to nothing RTS about World of Warcraft. Warcraft, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Hey, you said it.
Yep.
I'm just I've set myself up enough. I don't need to touch any more controversy.
You can send hate mails to me at realmpodcast@gmail.com if you disagree with anything I've said on this show.
I don't need to touch it. Also, the email writer is in the chat, so you can talk to him right now. On the visual side of things, I would absolutely love an overhaul of melee animations, maybe with the exception of Monk. Lately, I've tried out Final Fantasy XIV as a Marauder, and the animations for all the abilities feel very dynamic and weighty, not just slashing your weapon in a slightly different way. I feel like there's power behind my attacks when I use the ability. Would love to have the same feel on my warrior in WoW. I completely agree. I think it's super important to me that they update those abilities. Right now, melee classes, with the exception of Monk, feel very bland by comparison to casters who get flashy, cool, fun things. And we get the same default animations no matter which class we pick. If we pick the same race, it's exactly the same. So,
yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Going to an email from Alessander. Hi, John. Hello. Hi, Ben. He's not here.
Hi.
But Ro will say hi in his place.
I'll fill in for Ben.
Okay. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
I have heard rumors of Council of Glades being registered by Blizzard. I want to retake Gilneas in 7.0, storm the beaches, fight in the streets, raise a flag, fight Sylvanas and the Horde head on. Be careful now, you're threatening Sylvie.
That's dangerous ground to tread on this podcast.
I am a fan of Sylvanas.
She's also a member of the church.
Her W ability can regenerate health if you talent it properly. I want a war. Glory, heroic acts, fighting on land, sea, and airships. I want small islands off the coast to explore. I want epic, but not world destroyers. I want personal story, espionage, a ship or zeppelin of my own to command with my new garrison crew. I want gunship battle PvP. I want to sail the Lordaeron seas for adventure and loot, also for big whale sharks.
Well, I'll tell you what, spoiler alert, you're getting whale sharks. I don't care what expansion we're getting, it's like a troll raid now. Ever since Cataclysm, they find some way to put a whale shark in the game. So you're getting a whale shark.
There will be a whale shark, even if it's just an airship called the whale shark.
And what was it? The lunar whale shark? Yeah, that's an airship in Final Fantasy, right? The lunar whale shark.
I don't know. I don't know much about
Final Fantasy 2 or 4 rather.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's move on. So we also got some non-expansion related feedback. I'm going to go ahead and go through real quick, mostly because they are all related to the exact same thing. Sometimes Twitter gets on a kick. Mugiver says, engineering, great profession, or greatest profession. It's all right. I don't think any of them are good, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you greatest profession. In a world of really awful professions, it is the least awful profession.
Mm-hmm.
Also, engineering song, best song, or bestest song.
John, do you know the engineering song?
I don't know the engineering song.
Would you like to learn the engineering song today?
Not particularly.
No, because I know it, and it's very relevant to this conversation, and it's very short.
All right, Ro, what's the engineering song?
Okay. All right, here we go. Engineering best profession, engineering best profession, engineering best profession, engineering best profession, engineering best profession. Leather working worst profession. Oh. There you go.
Great. Now I don't need to read any of the other tweets.
Pretty much.
That pretty much did cover it. I should have just had you sing it from the beginning. Thanks for your feedback, which basically formed the lyrics of a song.
That was a thing from Matt Sacco, the WoW Insider show. I cannot take credit for that. He is the one who originated the engineering song.
Well, it's a fantastic song.
I'm sorry, not Matt Sacco. What? I said Mike. I was confusing Matt and Mike Sacco. Oh my gosh. Matt McCurley. Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Matt McCurley. Yes. I'm totally confusing my names. But yes, Matt McCurley with the engineering song.
Okay.
There we go.
It's been properly credited?
Yes, it's been credited, and you can send your hate mails to Rome Podcast.
It's in the show bibliography?
Yes.
Great.
Say it's number 3 in the bibliography.
Please refer to your Azeroth Roundtable bibliography for proper credit. Final tweet of the night comes from Warfront. He says, "Know what I like to do first thing every Monday? Listen to Azeroth Roundtable.
Yeah.
Guess why today was the worst Monday ever?" Thanks, Ben.
That's a hashtag blame Ben on that one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't know he wasn't going to show up at all. We could have done this Friday. Actually, no, we couldn't, because I didn't have any of the programs to stream on Friday, because I was going to do a stream on Friday and then realized I had none of it. So,
hey, John, do you know why Monday is not always a bad day?
God damn it. Why?
Well, a lot of people get gloomy and down about Mondays and stuff like that, but there is a way to beat the Monday blues, and I'm actually participating in that today. I've decided to beat the Monday blues by wearing my favorite t-shirt to wear on Monday, and that would happen to be a t-shirt with a Murloc on it.
That sounds fantastic. What kind of shirt?
Well, I think, and let me take a look at this here and see if I'm reading this correctly. It says Azeroth Roundtable, Warcraft News and Discussion.
What do you know? That's sounds
you
a
are
lot
being
like
the most energetic about this t-shirt for a while.
Sounds like our t-shirt, Ro.
It sounds like it is, and do you know where you can find one, John?
I don't know, but I'm sure you'll tell me where I can find it.
Oh, well, let me tell you. You can find that shirt at slashloot.com. Is the hat being passed around? Let me check. Okay, the Chief Ojan is tossing a few copper into the hat, so it's all well and good here. You know, even with Ben gone, I had to fill in and make sure that the shirt was
everybody else gets to do the t-shirt ads. Even when I'm the host, everybody else gets to do the goddamn t-shirt ads.
I'll let you do the necklace one.
You can also buy a friggin' necklace. You can get it at geekasylum.etsy.com.
I feel like I've destroyed your hopes and dreams, John. I'm sorry.
Finally, no Ben to steal the... And then Ro... So, John, and I knew what was coming. Whatever, we got a shirt, slashloot.com, we got a necklace, geekasylum.etsy.com. Buy it, support our show, and maybe one day we'll be rich and not have to do ads, and then I won't care anymore.
John, I promise you that next time you and I are doing this thing when Ben is absent, I will not mention the shirt at all. I promise.
All right. I believe
I've signed it in blood.
I believe you. Now it's become a thing, though. Now everybody else doing the t-shirt ad has become a thing. I've just seen my future written with this moment, Ro.
Well,
I'm never gonna... Did you know I rehearsed one today? And no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna tell anybody.
You shouldn't.
What my little t-shirt ad was gonna be.
Hopes and dreams crushed.
It's real good. I was real proud of it. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I didn't write it down because I had it all in my mind, ready to go. Man. I loaded that torpedo and...
See, that's the thing. If you... Now, I noticed on these show notes, you put lines through a few things because, we have a pretty long show already. We're at the 2-hour mark here. If you had just made the tiniest little note that said, Ro, I will kill you if you mention the t-shirt, this could have all been avoided.
I didn't think I had to. Now I'm gonna have to.
Yep.
Whatever. It's fine. It was a fine t-shirt ad. Are you really wearing our shirt right now, Ro?
I really am. That's one reason
why
I
asked you really?
to do a video tonight.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. I genuinely think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know those guys.
Yep.
So, hey, everybody, thank you for joining us here on Azeroth Roundtable. We've shared quite an adventure. We laughed, I cried, and we were joined by some fantastic company in the form of Ro from Realm Maintenance. So, Ro, if people want more from you, if this has not been enough,
you're crazy.
Where can people find you?
Well, this week apparently you can find me on Half the WoW podcast because I'm like guesting on several of them, so you'll probably hear a lot of me this week. But normally you can find me at realm-maintenance.com. You can also find me on the WoW podcast that I do, which is called Extended Maintenance, and you can find that at extendedcast.net. Alternative Chat and I should be recording a new episode of that the day after we get the announcement from Gamescom, so you'll get our very first initial responses to what Blizzard has in store for us.
Very exciting. So as for us, for Ben, who is not here, I will go ahead and plug for him. He does a little show called Geektopia. It discusses all manner of geeky things. You can find that on Twitter and the internet and stuff like that. Search for Geektopia. It's a fantastic show. I have been banned from it, so that's how you know it's quality. In addition to that, there's also Battle Pets. That's another show he does with Aludra. They talk about pets. I have not been banned from that. I've never been on it because I am not interested at all in Battle Pets. Unless it's...
Which is why Spanky Hunter loves it.
Unless it is a tiny Protoss, and then I am all about it. As for me, you can check me out here. You can check me out on the NVIDIA stream along with Scott Johnson. That is every Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I also curate our YouTube channel. Now, I want to bring a special note to you all. This week, there's going to be some really cool stuff going up there. So the current plan is that I will be streaming and talking over the expansion announcement. So if you want to hear my voice talking over their voice as they explain what it is and get a real-time reaction of either the unbridled joy or the heart-wrenching defeat that I am going to feel, you can experience that live. We're going to go ahead and stream it on Twitch. Ben will not be able to join me, but I'll see if I can, you know, find somebody who is also off Thursday and available and maybe drag them in. We'll figure it out.
If I happen to be available, I'd be happy to be there.
All right, Ro might be there. We don't know what's going to happen, but Ro might be there. You could see him. Who knows who you'll see? But we'll go ahead and get that up on the YouTube channel so you can see that if you're not able to tune in live. In addition to that, I'm going to try and do some more scrub guides to Heroes of the Storm characters. And we are going to try and do a special reaction, follow-up, and thoughts video, which might ultimately roll into a full-on podcast later in the week. So keep an eye on our Twitter feed to find out what exactly is going on, because some of it is still up in the air. Beyond that, if you want more from this show, you can listen to us anytime on Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, and on our website, AzerothRoundtable.com. You can follow us at AzerothRT on Twitter. You can send us an email. That's AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. You got that, Ro?
I got that.
Great.
Our train got that too, apparently.
Our intro contains music from Volatile Reaction by Kevin MacLeod, and you can find more of his music at incompetech.com. I'm not sure if our intro this time actually contained music from Volatile Reaction by Kevin MacLeod, but if it did,
most weeks it does.
That's where you'll find it. I don't know who's editing this show. I don't know what's going to happen after this.
John, I'm sorry I stole your shirt.
It's fine. Did you steal my shirt? Wait, hold on. I might not be okay with you stealing my shirt. I guess that's how we're going to end it, is me talking about shirt stealing. Chat room.
I think that's a good way then.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I would say the show went long, but it's actually pretty much on par with what we've been doing.
It's fairly typical, yeah.
Yeah, we can't help it. Every time we extend how long the show typically goes for, it just goes longer. I don't know if it's still there or not. Oh, no, I deleted it from this document.
Oh, shoot. You didn't do Alpha Geek, did you? Or you can't.
I can't do any of that. So yeah, I wasn't able to do that. That's a thing Ben manages, and I would have loved to have been on Alpha Geek, but I don't have any of the stuff or anything like that to manage that, so couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm gonna find out if Ben wants to edit this monstrosity or if that's gonna fall to me, which means basically no editing whatsoever.
Well, you can put the intro in.
Yeah, I'll put in some intro music. I will find some sort of bumper, which will probably be bird sounds of some kind. Don't
just do like an eagle sound, like a screeching eagle sound for each bumper.
I had ideas on what I was going to do, but then I realized it wasn't going to record locally, and that would just defeat the purpose of it, so I had all the time in the world to figure it out.
I've had fun, man. This went really well.
Yeah, thank you so much for helping out. It went way better than it would have been if I was just here by myself rambling on and on.
How long would the podcast have gone with it just being you at the round table?
7 hours. It would still be recorded. Would have started the moment I got home and would still be going. It is only by the grace of other people keeping me in check that I know to ever shut up. And even then, I still talk way too much.
You kept the show moving pretty well. I mean, I was the one who kind of kept us hanging on spots, and you're kind of like, okay, let's move to the next thing. So you did a good job at hosting and moderating and basically telling me, okay, let's stop talking about this. Let's move to the next thing. We don't want to be here till 4 in the morning now.
Well, see, I'm just channeling my inner Ben.
Yes, I think you did well.
Yeah, I had to do it a couple times, like this. Welcome to the Roundtable, where we discuss in depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's Roundtable topic is all about the upcoming expansion announcement, our wants, predictions, and what we hope has been a lesson learned in Warlords.
That is so spot on. Ben needs to hear that now. I'm going to tell Ben to listen to the Twitch at the end of this video on demand. Yeah.
Well, hold on. It's not quite like Ben. Hold on. Let's really channel Ben here.
All right.
Welcome to the Roundtable, where we discuss in depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's Roundtable topic is all about sorry, I'm messing up my words. Upcoming expansion announcement. There we go. Got it. Our wants, predictions, and what we hope has been a lesson learned in Warlords.
The inflections. Oh my god.
Boom! Nailed it. That's Ben.
Just the way you said the players got me. I was done after.
Well, see, that's always the part. He says it the same way every single time. Mean the most to us, the players. I hear it every single week. I've had a lot of time to think about how Ben says mean the most to us, the players.
I'm sorry, Ben.
He's not here. He's asleep.
He's going to listen to this.
I don't know. This part's only going to be on the YouTube video, and he doesn't usually check that out. I have carte blanche to do what I want with the YouTube video. He's lucky I don't have video editing software. It would be fantastic.
Oh boy.
Does Ben really have cat ears? Yeah, it's very sad. Through the whole thing. Say something about pets now. I don't know shit about pets in WoW. The Anubisith idol is really good. Star Wars, Spider-Man. I don't know. I Can't you?
If the Anubisat idol got into a fight with Spider-Man on the Death Star, who would win?
Well, I have to take into account... See, the problem is Ben sounds like Guybrush Threepwood and Matthew Broderick, and I can't do an impression of either of those people. But, you know, just picture Ben over and over saying, like, I'm going to be a pirate. Like, that's Ben.
Oh, man.
That's how you do a Ben impression. Everybody go look up Monkey Island videos, and then you too can sound like Ben. I used to make him. We would be out walking, and I'd just be like, hey, Ben, say, I'm going to be a mighty pirate. And he'd say it, because he didn't play the games. He didn't know what I was doing. So he'd just be like, I'm going to be a pirate. I'd be like, ha!
Oh, boy.
Now say you're afraid of Godzilla. Because Matthew Broderick's afraid of Godzilla.
Oh, I'm afraid of Godzilla.
Yeah, it's not as good.
No.
No, it's not the same as when Ben says it.
How would Ben say he's afraid of Godzilla?
I don't know.
I'm afraid of Godzilla.
Yep, you're getting close to Ben. Now you've got to just say, where is it? I can't. Now read the round table part.
Read the round table part. Oh.
Yeah, read it like Ben. Let's hear your Ben impression,
Okay.
Ro.
All right.
It's Ben's time.
Welcome to the round table, where we discuss in depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's round table topic is about the upcoming expansion announcement, our wants, predictions, and what we hope has been a lesson learned in Warlords.
That's pretty good. Need a little more pause before the players.
And I didn't stumble in any words.
Yeah, you didn't stumble. But also, I feel like this one is slightly fake because I wrote it. Usually Ben writes it himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he really... Okay, to Ben's credit, Ben only stumbles when I write. Because I'll get in and I'll read. Let's see if I can look it up here real quick.
Bye, Tub Stout.
Bye, Tub Stout. Thanks for the email. And not killing Ro when he...
Yeah. RTS.
When he got mad at you.
Yeah, I became a little stronger when I saw RTS.
Let's see. Let's go to Azeroth Roundtable from July 10th. Let's see. So here's... Ben doesn't add a lot of depth to them. So here's a Ben one. Welcome to the Roundtable, where we discuss in depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's Roundtable topic is all about story.
So it's usually just one or two words when it's better.
It's, you know, a little broad.
Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, yeah, you can tell in the style between when you write one and when Ben writes one.
So when
if it's more than 4 words, you wrote it.
Right. So when I write them, they tend to get a bit verbose, and while not grammatically incorrect, they are long, and he didn't write it, so he trips up on it, because he's real good at that part that he says every week, but then when something new gets thrown in there, yeah, the players, he's got that down.
You know, I'm kind of like that with Realm Maintenance when, so I write up the podcast news stuff that I do, but some shows send me in things to read for podcast news, which I'm totally cool with. I encourage it. And when I'm recording Realm Maintenance, usually I do that on Monday, by the way, new show's out. But when I'm reading the stuff, I always do fine on the stuff I write. But when I'm reading stuff other people send into me, I have to go through like 4 takes to get it down.
Yeah, that's just because you gotta find the voice of it, and it's not easy. That doesn't mean we can't laugh at him a little bit. We're allowed. Hopefully he's not in the chat. I don't think he is. I've checked a couple times. Because I've gotten more and more concerned that he might hear this.
Man, they're making fun of you.
Okay, good. He went to bed 29 minutes ago. We can say whatever we want. Guys, we can... Holy shit, he's got a lot of friggin' amiibos.
Wow.
Oh no, this is somebody else's. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
Pat Crane's been listening to us talk forever.
Yeah,
Hi,
Pat's
Pat.
been here. I was excited to see Pat here. He
Yeah.
was on my list of people to ask because I didn't think he had been to any sort of convention or anything. That he's going to be one of the people not jet lagged.
Right. And he
And
doesn't.
then he showed up.
And with one would hope that with the well played party mostly being done by like Jules and the other CTR members, he's not having to stress out as much about that stuff this year round. So yeah, you guys should grab him on for a show sometime soon. You've had him on like twice before, right?
Yeah, I love having Pat on. He's great. I feel like he plugs right into our sense of humor and how we work, and it's always good. It is always a show. I don't know about listeners, but I know as a person doing the podcast, I always have a ton of fun when he's on. So I'm all for having Pat back on because he is a good guy.
I agree.
He's an officer and a gentleman.
Alessander is apologizing to me, and I'm not sure why. Did she send it? Wait. No, okay. I just checked my email and I saw one, but it's not from her. Anytime Alessander apologizes to me, it's because she sent me an email. Alessander likes sending in a lot of emails.
Yes, she does. I like them.
But I love it.
Yes, I had to cut one today because it was too long, and it would have been a big veer off course for the show, but it'll probably be on next week's as a result.
And Alessander, you do not need to apologize for emails you send in at all, as long as you are understanding that I read all the ones you send in, but like when it comes to reading them on the show, as long as you're understanding that I may not read everyone that you send in on the show, we are cool. But I do read everything.
Yeah.
I think what was it? The one about time walking?
Yes, time walking within zones.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those that I feel like warrants more than just like, hey, I read your email, and that was all we really had time to do. So I feel like there's a discussion to be had there. And yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
It'll be interesting to see how what changes they make with bonus events once things go into the next expansion. Will they add a bonus event? Will they change one? This whole bonus events thing is weird to me because they've got a 7-week cycle of them. The expansion is maybe 6 months away in theory.
Yeah.
If they're going to announce it at Gamescom, so I don't know. We'll see.
Chief Vol'jin in the chat asks, and I will reiterate to all 8 people that are currently in the chat room. Hey, John, what's up with the Murloc Theater? Don't think we've heard one in a couple of months now. That is correct. That is because we have canceled it as a thing that we do.
As a regular thing, anyhow.
Yes, we will still do it on the absolute rare exception that we get something so phenomenal that we feel we absolutely have to play it. That's our qualifying rule.
I have actually had some ideas over the past month and a half, and I've actually recorded a couple, but I have not sent them in Vol'jin simply because I ask myself, is this something that I think they would want to play on the show? And it's almost like a Blizzard process where if I feel, nah, I don't think so. So I haven't given up on Celebrity Murloc Theater either. I mean, I think I'm close to probably holding the record for sending in the most. I will probably send one in when I feel I found one that works, and I just haven't found one that works. But sometimes they come in bursts, and sometimes they're like weeks and months away.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things.
We are not saying Allura. I don't think Ben or John. I can't necessarily speak for them, but I don't think they're saying that anyone suck. I think So I'm going to take partial responsibility for the death quote unquote death of Celebrity Murloc Theater, because um, I had this awesome idea. I had the awesome idea to do, this fundraising thing for, and they ended up doing it for Child's Play, right? Where
Yep.
for every Celebrity Murloc Theater submission that was sent in, we would donate a couple dollars toward Child's Play. And we're still committed toward doing that. And I don't know if you've talked about that in detail or not, but several of us are still going to be donating basically the equivalent of what if it had been done every week, right?
Yeah,
But
so real quick, just the idea behind that, because I feel like it's important to address. The idea behind it is there was never going to be a time where at least Ben and I were not going to pay the full amount. I think, Ro, you had even said you were going to do this too, because I think we told
Yeah.
you from the get-go.
Well, because $2 for 52 weeks is $100 for Child's Play, and on average, on any given year, I donate like somewhere like $200 to $300 to a charity anyhow. So it was kind of a foregone conclusion to me.
Yeah, and so we were all on the same page that no matter what people did, whether they got behind it or not, we were going to donate the full amount. That had always been the plan. So we still are going to, at the end of the year, do a full donation. Now, we had other people that said they were going to match us. I don't think it's right for us to force them to say, well,
Right.
we're going to do the whole thing. So anybody who said, oh, we're going to do it too, it's up to you if you want to do that. If you want to do part of it, that's your call. We're not going to tell anybody to, they have to do anything or they're committed to anything. But yeah, we're still going to do the payment in full, at least the three of us for sure.
I will say this much because I can't exactly speak for John and Ben, but they may be aware of some things. All I can say is you haven't heard the last of Celebrity Murloc Theater this year. I think that is a safe statement to make.
That's probably true. Now, I will say that, okay, let me also address so you're saying all mine suck. No,
No.
we are not saying that. So here's the deal with Celebrity Murloc Theater. When we came up with Azeroth Roundtable, the idea, we had a couple of different ideas on what the show would be. And one of the primary ideas was that it was, you were walking into a room and you were listening to people just joke around and talk, like you walked into a conversation about people, people were just having about WoW, and you got to sit down and join them. And that was a big part of it for us, was this idea that you get to join in the conversation to some degree, whether that is, being on the show as a host or sending emails or sending questions and stuff like that. And as I'm sure Ro can attest, it is not easy, especially for a new podcast. And we've been around for a couple years now, but we're still, that doesn't make us a veteran by any standpoint.
You've only been receiving a check from Blizzard for 23 episodes.
That's right. We've only 23 episodes that we've been getting paid for this. So that is also not true. Please, nobody believe that that's true. So as a result, like, when we asked for Celebrity Murloc Theater, what we had found is that in order to make time for it, we were frequently having to ignore legitimate discussion emails, and that stuff was getting pushed to the side. That we were going out of our way and devoting huge chunks of the time every episode to talk about Celebrity Murloc Theater and to play them.
Imagine if it had been done tonight. One thing I can tell you is that we ended up cutting some stuff from the show tonight that was going to be talked about, like a couple of emails and one bit of news and some other things. So imagine if Celebrity Murloc Theater had been tacked on to that.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is, ideally you guys don't realize when we're cutting content, and so what it came down to is Ben and I, because of the contest and stuff like that, we felt forced to have to make Celebrity Murloc Theater a thing every single episode. And we were aware of the content that we were cutting to do it, and we were not happy about it, but we also felt stuck, like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And it eventually just got to a point where we said, well, look, you don't want to cut this stuff and focus on Celebrity Murloc Theater. I don't want to cut this stuff and focus on Celebrity Murloc Theater. This is what we need to do. We need to just come out and say, we're not going to do it anymore. And so that's the stance we've taken. The reason I am so adamant that it has to be the best of the best of the best is because odds are, and I'm saying this to Ro, and I'm saying this to anybody listening, if you send us a Celebrity Murloc Theater, it will most likely not get played on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I want there to not be this feeling of if it gets sent and it doesn't get played, somebody feels bad. Like, I don't want anybody to send us something and feel bad that it didn't make it onto the show, whether that's feedback or Celebrity Murloc Theater or anything like that. I just want there to be this established idea that if you send it and it's Murloc Theater, it's not a segment we do, we will not be playing it. However, there is that one concession that if something comes through that we, just laugh our butts off and say there's no way we do a show without this being in there, that will make it to the show. So it can be a competition. If everybody wants to try for it, you can. Just understand that we are going to be exceptionally strict on what we play for it.
An entire Murloc opera. Okay, so one hint I'm going to toss at you, Allura, as far as an exceptional Celebrity Murloc Theater segment goes, and I will speak to you to this from experience, because there was one day where John pulled me aside and took me to a corner and had a little chat with me, and he said, "Ro, I really like your Celebrity Murloc Theater segments." And I said, "Thanks, John." He said, "But you need to keep them under a minute if possible." So an entire Murloc opera, as long as that Murloc opera is in a minute or less, then sure.
So yeah, so that's the other thing, is you can trace it back. There was a point in our show where we started saying, like, keep it under a minute. Like, that was kind of when we were already reaching the boiling point of, like, what are we doing? So you can actually kind of see it progress. It's, I don't hate the segment. I think that there's a...
Well, it goes back to something that Scott Johnson and many others have said when it comes to, like, when doing a podcast, you want to make the podcast that you would like listening to, right? And if it got to a point where you weren't enjoying listening to what felt like a mandatory Murloc segment every week, then it was time to make a change. And I don't see any fault in doing that.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it comes down to as well, is just this idea of, not to say that there was anything wrong with the submissions. I certainly got plenty of joy out of these type, but the genesis of Celebrity Murloc Theater was doing an impression of a celebrity doing a Murloc, and nobody was sending us those because nobody wanted to do that, and that's fine.
Also partially responsible for that, sorry.
And that's fine. Like, it doesn't bother us. Like, for the record, Ro ultimately took it to the realm of song, which I think is even better than the celebrity bit. Like, I thought his songs were funnier than that.
Well, Murloc parodies are easier for me to pull off because, honestly, although I can make a lot of funny voices and stuff like that, I don't have a knack for celebrity impersonations in general. And I know that some of the best Celebrity Murloc Theater things are really terrible impersonations of those celebrities. I just feel like if I'm going to do a celebrity impersonation, I want it to sound really close. So that's why I ended up drifting toward the whole parody thing.
Yeah, and so near the end, it kind of got to this, like, very predictable arc where anytime we got it, we knew it was going to be a clip from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it would be way more of the movie than we necessarily needed to hear. And then at the very end, there would suddenly be a Murloc sound, and then there would be
insert Murloc sound here.
Right, and then
add
usually
the children cheer.
Add the children cheer. And the thing that we found is we were laughing more at the children cheer than we were the Murloc, which was another part of the problem, where it's like, well, the funny thing is they're putting the kids in there. Like, that's the funny part at this point. So right. It's just tricky, you know, like, it's not to say that those were bad at the end. I don't want anybody to feel like that was a bad thing or that that's what killed it, because it's not the thing that killed it. But I also do believe that if there had been a point where we were having more fun with it, we might have kept it around longer than we did. But it was getting too predictable. And it wasn't, the idea was it to be a fun, occasional, something super creative thing. And it became a weekly, kind of formulaic, predictable thing. And I didn't love it.
And again, it's not like it was any intentional thing, but I do feel somewhat responsible for things leading that direction just because of the way, you know, I tied it in with the whole money thing and stuff like that. So I absolutely assume some responsibility for how things went the direction they did. So honestly, guys, if any of you are upset about the absence of Celebrity Murloc Theater, don't talk to John or Ben at all. Feel free to throw the I'll tank that threat.
It's all Ro's fault. That's not true. If anybody's upset, they can talk to us, but it's not anybody's fault. It's not what we want for the show is kind of the bottom line to it. Although I like Alora's reaction. My creativity is dashed. We have stunted the creativity. Yeah, it wasn't the show that we wanted it to be. And the funny thing is, we stopped it, and we've been getting such better feedback since then. So I'm not going to say that it was the cause of there not being any good feedback, but the feedback we've been getting has improved. So I think it might have played a role, is what I'll say.
Right.
So that's going to do it for the post show. I guess we've given you enough behind the scenes secrets of the round table. We could do a whole podcast about that.
Under the round table?
Secrets of the round table. Okay, here's another secret of the round table. For the longest time, I have intended to do a second podcast that wouldn't go on the feed but would go on the website called Flipping the Round Table. And it would be this kind of stuff, behind the scenes talk. It would expand on things that maybe didn't get expanded on in the show, but we know won't be able to carry forward. I've wanted to do it for a while, but it hasn't happened. I haven't found out quite what the format, frequency, or any of that would be, but if there's ever a thing called Flipping the Round Table, it's something that I've been talking to Ben about doing for like a year now. So there you go. There's another secret of the round table for everybody.
Secrets of the round table.
Secrets of the round table. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ro, thank you again.
Thank you, man. It's been fun.
It has. You all have a good WoW expansion announcement. Hopefully you'll stop in and listen to us talk over it. And have a good night.